Going live, Bubbles. Hey, we're live. Hey, good morning. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. Hope you're doing well today. And today here in Pennsylvania, it's election day. It's election day across the United States, I think. For most places, they like to keep it the same time just so when the big elections come. So I voted today. Actually, I got harassed. Actually, my wife helps volunteers. She's like, you can't vote. You bring the kids along with you. I'm like, oh, okay, I won't vote. So I want to wish everyone the best and participation with that. And that brought up a topic that I wanted to talk about, perception being negative. Is your team's perception of stuff being really negative? Maybe it's time for radical change. Same thing, perception of voting. A lot of people don't participate in voting anymore here in the States because their perception is that nothing will change. So why vote? Why bother? Everyone's pre-selected. And here's the obligatory cat who sound asleep. Oh, poor Bubbles. Woke her up. I got the cats and the dogs. Anyway, my name is Greg Mester. I am a Scrum Master and Agile coach, and here on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, on our 749th episode, we talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical and tactical way so you can bring value to your customer, not work those crazy hours. Get home to family and friends and have some fun. Enjoy what we do. I was talking to one of my neighbors. He's so like, oh, you got to work. Very, work sucks. Added kind of thought process, which I can't blame him because I don't think neither one of us had enough coffee yet this morning. So, and I had to get the kids off, so we're a little bit later than normal. It was my job while my wife volunteers, which I appreciate. It's nice when people volunteer to help out with people, civic duties and help everyone do their voting. So perception, is it negative, right? Perception is a very strong, powerful thing that people don't get. And perception can mean a lot of things and gets interpreted a lot of different ways. And my question to you, is your team's perception, what's going on in your Scrum teams, negative? Like you can't finish your daily Scrum in under 15 minutes. Is that a negative impression? We never get done. They just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Or is it can't finish the sprint backlog? We never get our backlog done. Are you experiencing that? And the perception is we'll never get done. We always get work. It never ends. When you get those perceptions from your team, it's time for a radical change. And I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to go two things on, one on daily Scrum, and I'm going to talk about sprint backlog and what you could radically do different and give you some suggestions. You change that perception from defeatism to something of positive, and then we can do, and we can be productive, and we can be happy, right? And that's what Scrum Masters are supposed to do. Sometimes you got to take a hit, but there's ways to do it. And Bubbles, you just knocked the camera. Okay, Bubbles, would you stop? Come here. Give me a bit. He wants attention. So let's talk about daily Scrum first. Meetings drag on. Are they set up to drag on, right? Like I got one group, everybody has an hour daily Scrum. Well, why don't you change that perception, right? Where they put in a calendar. It's not an hour, it's very short. But by changing perception, like instead of doing a half hour, like everybody's 15 minutes, no, schedule it for 8 minutes, right? Even smaller than the 15-minute mark, say, and actually make it 8 minutes. Why 8 minutes? Because we're going to be done in 8 minutes. We're going to have, everyone's going to share. We're going to feel like we got something accomplished. We're not going to sit there play on our phones during daily Scrum because during that 8 minutes, we can all stay awake and pay attention what each other have to say for 8 minutes, maybe. I don't know if we can anymore. I think it's down to a minute of attention. But make it smaller. Change it, right? Change up the questions. Like if it's getting run on, change up the questions. Don't be, what did you do yesterday? What did you plan to do today? And what's blocking you from having fun? And talk about a real thing. You got to have, get a little energized in the situation. Get everyone pumped up, If you have to do a dance and wear a dinosaur costume or something, then do a dance and do a dinosaur. If that's going to help get everyone laughing and going and pump up the energy, then let's do it. Maybe you do jumping jacks remotely during your daily Scrum. Get everyone on to do jumping jacks. Get up, move around. Change up the questions. Like, okay, what's the biggest bug you saw since yesterday? Something. I don't know. Could be that. What was your favorite coffee? What coffee will you never have again? What blocks you from having a good cup of coffee or a cup of tea or whatever your favorite drink is, right? Um, but change it up. And I really recommend radical change. Don't do the half hour. Don't do the 15 minutes. Do 8 minutes. I mean, if you have a 20-person team, okay, radically change. You need to break up your team in two. There's ways to do it in the systems where you can have them all part of one backlog and virtually break up the team so they can have two separate discussions, right? You should. You got to break it up because there's too much information for the team. They get distracted. So that's one radical thing. So it never ends under 15 minutes. Well, change up what you're doing. Radically change it. Now I'm going to give you the sprint backlog one. This is a radical change, right? This is where a lot of Scrum Masters are scared to death and you're a bunch of chickens to do it. I've done it before. I actually fought these battles with the team. There are times when a Scrum Master has to say, look, damn it, we're going to get the entire backlog done in the sprint. And the way we're going to do it, we're going to cut the backlog in half, or we're going to cut it in 3/4, by a quarter, something like that. Well, when you do it, here's the key. Talk to the product owner, let the managers know that say, come to sprint because I'm tired of them not getting done. I want to spur their excitement because they feel like they never can get their backlog done. They're never winning. So I want to change it from perception to defeatism, like all these voters out here in the United States, to an idea that we can do it. I've had it where had teams, when they finish their backlog, they naturally increase their performance by 10%. I didn't do anything. They just got the feeling like they won. That's it. So go to the product owner, let them know and say, hey, come in the sprint, do me a favor. Don't put all that work. Put like 60% of what you normally do. Make it way below their normal average. Okay. Go way below, right? And that could be a quality thing too, by the way. If you're getting some quality issues, you say, we need to go 50% of what we usually do because we're getting way too many bugs and stuff's coming back and it's taking us longer to deploy to the customer. So we got to do something radical, like cut the backlog in half. So do something radical, but don't just surprise everyone. Like, I'm going to do it all myself. Woohoo, look at me. I'm the Scrum Master. I could do it all by myself. I don't need anybody. Go to the product owner and say, hey, look, we're going to cut the backlog in half. And we're going to make it so that everyone feels like the perception of accomplishment. So they get a positive perception of what they're doing. Okay. That's what I totally recommend on that. And then do it and see what happens. Text me back, message me back. Let me know how it goes. But if your team is not finishing and you feel like they're getting to this, oh God, I'm at the job. This is no fun. It's just a work. Change it. You have to do a radical change and change it. If you don't do it as a Scrum Master and Agile coach, nobody else is going to do it, right? Trust me, it ain't going to go anywhere. And if they get it all done, they can get more work pull more work in the sprint anyhow. No big deal. Actually, it doesn't really affect anything if you do cut in half because they always have the option to bring more work in as they complete, and they'll bring one story in at a time, right? And gradually get better and better. And that's how you do it. So with that, Bubba, stop hitting the camera. I wanted to share that with you. I hope you're doing well. Do you want to be on TV? Do you want to be on YouTube or something, Kat? I don't know. I think she wants my total attention. She's like, stop talking to yourself. Anyway, I want to wish you all the best. Go vote. Vote frequent and often, as they say here in Philadelphia. And I wish you the best. Stay safe. And I hope the perception improves and that there's some ways you can improve the perception. You have to get it away from the negative, and that's part of the job of a Scrum Master. Even if you have to wear a silly hat. But I tell you, silly hats don't really do it. It's just fun. But cutting the backlog in half in a sprint so they get it done does perception of the team and doesn't make them feel like they're not under a stress ball all the time. So that's my recommendation for today. Please give us a ring once, twice if you like the show so you know when we go live. Give us a thumbs up. Cast it hit 10,000 downloads, as I said the other day. And as soon as I put this in the hopper here on YouTube, I will post it as a podcast. And we're going to do some more stuff coming up soon. I got an Agile PA event coming up. I will post that up soon. We're going to talk about OKRs for that group. And that's in November. I think I forget when. But anyway, I wish you all the best. I will post it up, and take care and go vote. All right, Bobs. Do you want to say goodbye? No. Okay.